All right, so arithmetic sequences. This one is a little bit different. We're still on arithmetic sequences. We won't get to geometric until I see you on Tuesday, right? Because Monday we have no school. And arithmetic sequences, we don't worry about the explicit formula like this. We write it f of x is equal to the first term, which is called f of 1, plus d times x minus 1. That's how we write our formula, right? F of 1 is the first term in the sequence. That's our notation. N, I'm going to call that x, is the current term number. F of x is the current term, and d is the common difference, the number that is being added. Now, we're going to do two different types of problems today. Okay? This says if I am given one term and the common difference, can you come up with the explicit formula? So I'm not given the whole sequence, but I'm given one random term. It may or may not be the first term and the common difference. Now, in our notation, we would not write a sub 10 equals 25. We would write what? F of 10 equals 25. That's the way we'll see it on our homework, too. We would see this. So what is this telling me right here? This is telling me that the 10th term is 25, okay? And the common difference is 3. So what's the 11th term? 28. The 12th term? 31, and so on and so forth, right? Now, I could count backwards by the 3s and get to the first term, but I don't really need to, okay? So I'm going to think about how we have, you know how we have the formula y equals mx plus b? And that's what all of our arithmetic formulas follow, right? Well, isn't d one of those letters? Yes. What is it? M. D is our m value. So I know starting off that my equation is going to be y equals 3x plus b. What else do I need to figure out in order for that to be a legit equation? B. So I need m and I need b. I can leave y and x in the formula, but I need m and I need b. If they've given me my d value, they've already given me m. How do you think I'm going to find b? Well, I got to use this piece of information right here. If I were to plot this point, what would that point be? 10, 25. Isn't that an x value and a y value? And I have an x and a y in my equation. So let's substitute in these x and y values. So what do I put in for the y? 25 equals 3 times x. What would x be? 10 plus b. I think I can find b. 25 equals 30 plus b. Subtract my 30. And what does b equal? Negative 5. So if I know that m is 3 and b is negative 5, what is my final equation? Y equals 3x minus 5. Now, should I write y? I'm thinking about this after I wrote it. I probably shouldn't. What do you think I should write? F of x. Let's just stick with the same notation throughout. So instead of y, I'm going to write f of x. Pretty easy? Okay. Next type of problem. What do they give me in this next one? By the way, this is not a sub 7. It would be f of 7 equals 26. And, f of 16 equals 71. What's different about this problem than the previous one? They give me two terms. What do they not give me? The d value. Okay. Now these two terms, I know this is the point 726 and this is the point 16 71. Now let's think this through for a minute. D can also be thought of as M, right, as my slope. If I have 2 points, can I find the slope through those 2 points? How? Do you remember this thing? From way back in Algebra 1 or Integrated Math 1? I can find my slope. So if I use these 2 points, I would have 71 minus 26 on top. And what on the bottom? 16 minus 7. Please make sure as you're doing it, this is the y value from a certain point. This must be the x value from whatever point also. So the first two, or the first on the top and the first on the bottom, have to be values from the same point. Right? You have to go, if you're doing this point minus this one, you have to always do this point minus this one. So let's see, what does that give me? 71 minus 26 is 45. 16 minus 7 is 9, and 45 over 9 is 5. So what did I just find? M, which is also D. So now I know that my equation is going to be y equals 5x plus b, and I got to figure out what b is. How do you think I find b? Same way as before. I have a slope, but I have 2 points to choose from. Am I going to get a different answer if I choose 726 or if I choose 1671? No, because it's the same line. So you can choose either point. You will get the same b value. So choose the point that seems more reasonable to use. If one is easier numbers, smaller numbers, maybe positive numbers instead of negative, non-fraction or whole numbers instead of fractions. I'm going to use 726 because it doesn't have 71 in it, and that's kind of big. So what am I going to plug in for y? 26 equals 5 times 7 plus b. So 26 equals 35 plus b. What does b equal? Negative 9. So what's my final equation? I'm going to write f of x equals what? 5x minus 9. Easy peasy? Okay, last one. By the way, the instructions here are for a different method of finding them. So if you want a different method of getting the equation, feel free to read through those instructions. I personally feel this is the easiest method, which is why I'm going this way. Yes?
Why did you set 26 equal to the rest of the equation?
Why did I set 26 equal to the rest of the equation? Good question. So here I have an x and a y. I have an x and a y. I chose to use this point when I was going to find my b value. So looking here, which is my y equals mx plus b with the m value that I found, I have to plug in y for y. So the y value is 26. That's why the 26 is here. 7 is the x value, so it goes there. And this is just what that looked like. Okay? All right, I want you to try this last one for a minute. Remember, a of 5 really means f of 5 equals 1. And what would the other one look like? F of 8 equals negative 5. Go ahead and take a minute and try that one. All right, so what should I do first? Write these as points. 5, 1, and 8, negative 5. Right? Now I use the slope formula. So I would have negative 5 minus 1 over what? I started at this one, so this has to be my first x value. And that gives me negative 6 over 3, which is negative 2. Is that what you got? Okay, so that is my m value, also known as my d value. Yeah? All right, so y equals negative 2x plus b. which point should I use for x and y? Again, it doesn't matter. You will get the same result either way. I'm going to use this one because they're both positive numbers. Okay? So what do I plug in for y? 1 equals negative 2 times x. What's x? 5 plus b. 1 equals negative 10 plus b. If I add 10, b is equal to 11. So what's my final equation? F of x, negative 2x plus 11. Easy peasy? All right. That is what your homework is. Let me just show it to you really quick. Your homework is 10 questions. These first 4 questions are like the first example I did, where I give you the d value and I give you a point. The 6 after that are where I give you 2 points and you have to go from there. Okay? So just 10 questions, not too bad. All right, happy studying.